All right, everybody, welcome back to the Kleen-Rite Radio podcast. I am Fix It with Phil, and as always, I'm joined by my good buddy, Mark Tyndale. Mark, how we doing today?
I'm doing great today, Phil. Thank you for asking.
I love hearing that. We are back, ready to jump into the brand new series called The Operator Mindset. The series theme is helping owner-operators escape the good enough and I'll do it myself rut by implementing systems, leveraging outside services, and building sustainable operational routines that drive growth.
I love this topic, Phil, that you came up with. It is really what a lot of operators just want to listen to, on their drive to work, and it's going to flow real easy because we deal with it every day personally, so we can talk about this forever.
Yeah, it's going to be good to kind of break down how to, as an operator, make the decisions of, do I need to tackle this myself or should I be getting somebody in to help me out with this, right?
Yeah. And, so for the guy that, has a day job and loves working on stuff, this probably isn't for him. Like literally enjoys fixing old, broken down stuff. The kind of guy that has a 30-year-old mower instead of buying a $400 mower, he just keeps fixing. It's really not for that guy. It's for the guy or gal that, is trying to maybe free up a little bit of time and run it more like a business.
Yeah. I think that for that guy that loves working on stuff, though, this can kind of hit home for him a little bit as well, because we need to help everybody understand that the do-it-all dilemma of being a jack of all trades doesn't always make you more money.
Or more efficient, for sure.
Right? Yeah. Like there is a good amount of profit loss when you are the guy that loves to work on stuff and, a problem that you're having at the wash takes one part, but you end up putting 4 parts into it and you spend X amount of time doing that. That bay's down for that long. That touchless is down for that long, right? We need to help everybody understand that all of that compounds. Now, I believe or hope that most people understand that that's a loss of revenue.
Yeah.
Right. So
I'll give you a good example. I see it all the time on the chat rooms, people asking, hey, is this the right part? Should I buy this? How do I do this? And sometimes those chat rooms go on for, I've seen them go on for 10 or 15 days and they get 25 different opinions and they could have had it fixed if maybe they just hired a distributor or an electrician or a plumber or somebody. And, that's downtime.
Yes.
Or a time where that function wasn't working. And it's not okay to have a piece of tape on that function just because, you're trying to do it on the cheap.
You're doing it on the cheap, or you're the guy that, or, the person out there that's like, I can figure this out. You can figure it out, but you have to figure out as well as how much is that costing you and what is that doing to the customer interactions? What's that doing to, your customers believing in your site? In my opinion, if you're not 100% sure, you can use that experience of having a distributor come in to fix that as a learning tool, right? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I'm not 100% sure. Can you help me out with this? They come, fix the problem, explain it to you why it was broken or what needed to go into that to get it to what it needed to be. And then for next time. And then you can efficiently fix it the next time.
And and maybe prevent you from breaking the next thing downstream that if you had done it right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you interact with a service person, a distributor or a plumber or an
manufacturer or anybody.
Yeah, anybody, right? When you interact with those people, asking questions can get you a lot more information and understanding of how your equipment works, how to diagnose it the next time, and really what to look at in a sense of what to have on the shelf as spare parts.
And there's no doubt for most people who are mechanical, suffering through the learning process yourself is a great learning experience. Mm-hmm. We're just trying to help people save a little bit of time, personal time and energy. And sometimes it is not cheaper to do it all yourself. Mm-mm. You know, you have to value your time, your family's time, and your customer's time.
Yes.
You know, the easy button has to be pushed for your customer.
Mhm.
And if you can save days or hours or a good Saturday, and so that they have a great experience, it's worth it sometime to just get professional help.
Yes. I mean, for this topic hits home for me. I mean, you know, I'm known as Fix It with Phil, right? But
Yeah.
there is a time and place to call somebody.
Yeah.
And there is a time and place to understand that, you know, that if you're not a full-time car wash person and you're doing this as a side business or however you would want to describe that sometimes it is better and more efficient to have somebody come in.
Well, I'll give you
help you with
a perfect personal example. So you're putting new tunnel equipment in right now, but you hired a distributor to do it because you have to build equipment, you have to run, you know, a production team, you have to do 10 other things. You can't do it all.
Yes.
You had to hire somebody. And it was kind of a funny conversation I had with the installer because I was standing there yesterday and somebody said, hey, Phil. And then I said to the install guy, I said, would you like for your name to be Hey, Phil? He goes, not at all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that is the perfect example, right? I know that I could put that stuff in, but I do not have enough time to dedicate to that to get it done in a timely fashion to start serving my customers.
Everything else suffers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, and that all this ties into what I would call is the business mindset 101, right?
Yeah.
What is the difference between being a hobbyist mechanic and a business owner? I love to work on stuff. I love to figure things out. But again, just to reiterate everything that we've talked about, there is a time and place that I need to call someone because I need my business to be running.
Yeah. And personally, I know for our operation, we have multiple power washers, big commercial power washers. And we got to the point where, yes, it was a lot cheaper to power wash all your bays and the outside of the buildings and the soffits and clean the gutters and wash the awnings off. It was cheaper for us but we weren't getting machines back up or doing our daily task list because of that.
So, and that's the business mindset 101, right? Is yes, I'm already paying my mechanics. I could have them because they're free built-in labor power wash this place, but in retrospect, it's costing you money because they're not PMing your machines. They're not getting stuff up and running because they're too busy power washing the building, which is something that you could feel, you know, really good about outsourcing to someone at a good daily rate, right?
Yeah, and you have to realize power washing is a perfect example, just like mowing grasses, right? Every day, these guys have a system where they load stuff on their truck, unload stuff on their truck. They have everything. They have all the hoses, the fittings, the chemical, you know, and I've personally watched my own team try to gather everything up because they don't do it but once a quarter, and the time just to make sure you have everything. So the setup and then the post finishing, it was just a huge bonus for us to pay a little bit more, which really wasn't more when you think about what you're paying your people, and get it done. Well, you know, we got it done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, that goes into that freed labor.
Mm-hmm.
Free labor is never free. No matter how you break that down, free labor is never free. The other thing that free labor does to take away from your business is cleanliness. So we're talking about power washing, right? But if your guys are on site power washing all day long, are they picking up trash? Are they making sure that the bays are clean? All those types of things, right? The other thing that happens is, you know, you run a bigger business in the sense of multiple washes. You have people on payroll, stuff like that. So let's switch it and let's take it to that single wash operator, right? If you are spending 90% of your time in the back room fixing equipment, the 10% that you spend outside after fixing that equipment, cleaning up trash, washing down bays, isn't efficient.
It's suffering.
It's not done well.
The customer, what the customer sees is going to suffer a little bit.
Right. And then what ends up happening is you as the operator, you build resentment against your wash. And it's like, oh, I have to go to the wash and fix this because it's still not working right. That trends over into the way that your site is presented. And the biggest thing that it does is when you actually interact with your customers, it's not a good, friendly interaction. Because in your mind, it's, I have to get this done so that I can clean up, so that I can get out of here.
Yeah, and if you're doing your normal tasks, going home for dinner at 6 and then going back with your 13-year-old nephew till midnight, you know, we see that all the time in these small family, privately held car washes. So I love the note that you have here, diagnosing the dread. How does a small operator who's kind of listening to what we're saying, he's maybe sold on it, how does he decide or how does he diagnose I'm that guy? Like is it self-realization? Does he just ask other operators? What do you think?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think you can look in the mirror and you can say to yourself, you know, how much time am I spending in the back room chasing problems? Now, you know, are you chasing the same problem constantly? In my head, that's the time right then and there is to say, all right, I need to step outside of my comfort zone and ask somebody to help me. I need to get somebody in to help me with this. If you pull up to your site and you feel like it doesn't look good, and that is a constant thing, but you're walking past that and walking into the back room because you need to get the wax to work or something, this is the time, right? Yeah. And the biggest thing that can kind of maybe help everybody understand that is what can be considered the 3 C's. And the 3 C's are capacity, capability, and cost, right?
Okay, 3 C's.
You can look at any project or problem that you have at the car wash and break it down by the 3 C's. Do I have the capacity, the time available to take care of this project in an efficient and timely manner? Do I have the capability? Do I have the parts here? Do I actually know what needs to happen? And is this something that I can do in a timely manner? And then the cost. What is it going to cost you for you to spend, let's say, 4 nights working on that?
Pulling the chain out of the conveyor when you can.
Right. Pulling the chain out of the conveyor, trying to diagnose an IBA or a rollover, or, you know, even if it's a self-serve problem that you're not familiar with, how long is it going to take you to do that? How many bays are shut down? How many items are you missing out of? How much revenue are you missing?
How many trips to the store?
How many trips to the store? How many times do I need to order different parts from Kleen-Rite because I don't have them on my shelf? When you could say, well, if I call a distributor, they'll show up, they're going to fix it, diagnose it, fix it. I will understand the problem better for next time.
And maybe I can fix it myself.
And
next
then
time.
I can fix it.
Use the tools that are out there. So maybe every operator should take the 3 C's and just write them on the wall and assess before you. I used to see it all the time, the same people fixing the same thing over and over again. And sometimes you just need new stuff.
Yeah. And that's part of those 3 C's, right?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be the most expensive stuff, but sometimes you just need new stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And that gets us into the moving forward phase, right? And that ties right into your question. How does an operator look in the mirror and say, you know, what guy am I? There's nothing wrong with being the fix-it guy. I love being the fix-it guy. I do. And hey, Phil should be on my name tag all the time.
That's your name. Hey. Hey, first name, Phil, second name.
Yeah. And it feels good to fix something, but if you're chasing that reward of fixing something over chasing making your business what it could be, maybe you should just be a really, really good mechanic all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe not a full out car wash owner.
Yeah. Cause you're not managing your business. You're just,
Right?
right.
You have to assess if the chase of the thrill, if the thrill of the fix is what you're after, then, you know, running the business and thinking about how to drive revenue up and make your site make more money so that you can afford to get that new equipment that you really, really want is not on your top priorities list. And to me, that's the point in time where you have to say to yourself, I might need help here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Agreed. Let's talk about the rut, right? Because it's easy for us to say, right? You know, how do people get out of this rut? You know, do they consult their partner? And sometimes it's a real conversation, because I've been there where, you know, you have a partner and they're like, no, we'll just do that. And then you're like, well, we can do it this way. You really have to just communicate, right? And I think that is, people are in the daily grind every day, and they don't take enough time to quarterly or monthly or weekly catch up with their team. And your team might just be your spouse. Yeah. Right. And being that we deal with big customers and we deal with small customers, I love seeing the spousal feedback. I'm used to it. In my old life, I saw it all the time. And usually one of the spouses really has a great idea. And it's just getting the other spouse to get on board, buy in. Yeah. And it's a great dynamic. And that's why a lot of spouses are great partners in a lot of these washes. I mean, we see it every day.
We do. And, you know, one of the best sayings I've heard in a long time is the saying, to be unclear is to be unkind. Right?
Yeah. If you're feeling something and you know your partner or your spouse or your worker, you know, something just doesn't,
an expectation isn't
like you're banging your head against the wall. It's time to sit down before you go buy those parts and hey, maybe we should relook at how we're doing this. Yeah.
Is this something that you have the capacity to do? Can you fit this in everything else that you need to do for this wash? Are you capable of doing it? Yeah. And what's it going to cost us for you to do it versus having a distributor come in and take care of it?
Yeah. And I know we found one wash, no big deal, right? Yeah. 2 washes, no big deal. Maybe it became a little bit bigger of a deal. 3 washes, it's a big deal. Yeah. 7 washes, you have to have employees. You have to have other people because you cannot do it all.
No, I mean, time will not allow it. Not for it to be done the right way.
The right way.
Right. Yeah. So, but even that guy that has, or that gal that has the one wash, and if you're new to the industry, right, it is okay to get help.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
100%.
It is. And I think that's the biggest thing. And I understand that point of pride of, this is my wash. I fix everything here. I do everything here. I get that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I see, and I get wanting to learn it all before you do start learning it all so that you can learn what people are doing that you hire. I mean, that's kind of how I always did it. I always did it first, understood it. And mechanics love when they come to your house or whatever, and then you're like, well, you know, I already did this before, so I kind of get it. You know, they love when you tell them that. But I do have a funny story. I'm not going to say it because it's too long, but just happened to me last week. I was not listening to the 3 C's, right? I'm going to tell the story. So can I?
Yeah, go for it.
So my washer's down. My my GE washer's down. It's been down for 3 weeks. Finally, they send a part. I didn't read the box. I've switched many door switches on my washers and dryers. So I just took the door switch out of the box and put it in. And then I called the service company and said, hey, you might want to bring something else, because the door switch didn't fix it. And they're like, well, Mr. Tyndale, you just voided your home warranty because you aren't supposed to take it out of the box. Companies have these new processes. And I thought about it. I was like, well, a lot of people probably probably make these mistakes. Not a door switch, because that wouldn't have done, but you plug something in and then you blow out a control board. That's why they have those rolls, right? And I see that's the point. The point is a lot of people will try things and they'll start plugging without getting a meter out. And then all of a sudden, they pop a fuse in, they keep popping fuses in, and then you burn something up. Yep. Now it costs you more money. The first thing a qualified technician is going to do is they're going to stop, take a breath, assess the repair, look at, take some voltages, look at your water. I mean, we had a customer, we have a lot of customers that are always complaining about their RO filters and how they don't last. And you probably don't need a new RO system, but you probably need a new carbon filter. You probably need a pre-filter, a different, iron filter, because the water is destroying your RO membranes. But they just keep throwing RO membranes in. And then finally, when they call and ask, why am I going through RO membranes? We explain it to them. So it's really being able to look forward down the road before you start tearing stuff apart. Yeah,
for sure. And that has to be, to me, that's part of the 3 C's. That's right in the cost area, right? Once you're at second, third set of RO membranes, something should be going off in your head saying, this doesn't make sense and I can't seem to figure this out.
100%. Right? 100%. So,
I think that this has been like a good overview of trying to get the Operator 101 mindset down.
It's a great season teaser to start. Yeah. It's not really a new season. We're just continuing these, but we are blocking them off into like segments.
Series, yeah.
And this next whole series is going to be topics similar to this that I think just your everyday operator is going to really want to tune in and listen to.
Yeah, so guys, stay tuned for the Operator 101 series that we got going on. We're going to try to lay out the best that we can, how to make the best decisions for your business, for you, how to really look at car washing as a business and not just a hobby, how to set up PM plans, understand what it is to work with a distributor, all of those types of things. All right, that's going to wrap this episode up of the brand new Operator Mindset series. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and remind you that in the description below, there's an email address. If you have questions or comments, please send them through to the email address. And if you wouldn't mind, please like, comment, and subscribe. Obviously, that helps us with the podcast.
And we also want to thank our sponsor for this series, Solve Industrial Motion Group and Iptiki Bearings. We'll actually have them on a future podcast talking about preventive maintenance and how their bearings cross over to all OEMs.
Yep.
And it's a great new partnership that we have with the Solve Industrial Motion Group. We're super excited about them sponsoring this series.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See you later.